Flash number 73, written by Joshua Williamson and Howard Porter, art by Howard Porter Hi-Fi, and letters by Steve Wands. Year one continues, and while I like seeing Barry and Iris's blossoming relationship and a sexy shirtless Barry, I'm also a bit frustrated at Williamson's insistence on glossing over the most important information in his ongoing story. Feels like he's getting some sadistic type of thrill, dangling them in front of us and then snatching them away.
Danglers.
This is the perfect time for him to explain these forces, especially when he has the
Or
turtle
at least the still
cell.
force.
I think he thinks we know all about these. Just go back to just the Sage Force, the idea that it was so many different things. Now, the last issue ended with Iris being saved by the Flash because she was going to get shot, and a lot of other people going to get shot.
Captain Cold.
Yeah, so you end up with Barry ran back to his apartment, and he's kind of riddled with bullets, at least one he has there.
He's got
and
one
it's
close
in
to
his
his
chest.
It's so funny to me, too. The idea, it's like, oh, I got a bullet. It's close to my
It's
heart.
Iron
Every
Man.
bit of movement, it inches it closer to it. I'm like, you just ran at super speed.
It should already have gone through him.
It was stuck on the front of his chest. He ran there. It went so close to his heart because of all that movement.
But yeah, that doesn't make sense because he's, oh man, I got to just sit here after I just ran at super speed with the bullet in me. He's bloody. He's there. Iris comes and knocks on the door. She's like, hey, Barry, what's going on in there? It's me, Iris. You know, I'm here. I'm just surprising you. Of course, it's the worst time.
I need to tell you about how stupid I was to go out there and go after that guy and accuse him of murder right there on the street.
It shows you that that's who is her guy. You know, she's fallen in love with him because when she almost died, she just wants to go and talk to Barry about it. So that's cool.
Look, you say that. I don't know anybody else she hangs out with, if she has any friends in Central City.
I don't think she has any friends, let alone lovers. But yeah, so
Lovers
Barry's
in the
like, oh
nighttime.
man, oh no, I got to get this bullet out of me before Iris comes through that door because then she'll find me dead and she'll see I'm the Flash. But he's covered in blood. I mean, there's blood everywhere. There should be
Not
blood
only is he
everywhere.
covered in blood, so there should be blood everywhere. Last time we saw it, there was blood just like laying around him in front of his door when he first got back into his
Well,
apartment.
even
here.
when he's there, wait, it looks like he's laying in a trail, like there is a blood trail. Yeah, so he's going to vibrate and grab the bullet out of his body. And he says, oh no, I can't. If the last time I tried doing this, every time I do it, something explodes. I don't want to explode.
Who wants to
Pretending
explode?
he's not there. Iris is like, well, and Iris is doing one of those, like, you know, speaker heart to the door. And she
exactly.
even
And they
comes
come
to the
You're
pink.
probably not even there, are
That's
you?
what I'm
You
saying.
probably
It
had
even
some
goes
crime
with
scene,
that.
Barry Allen. Stop talking to the door, crazy lady.
The funny thing is, he's like, man,
Rawr.
I thought that Iris loved me. It seems she loves the door. But I like it. I like that sort of thing. It's well played out, almost like what they call a RomCom nowadays, Eric. I don't know if you're familiar with the
Nowadays.
term. Nowadays. Good. So I like that. And of course, the timing of this in said RomCom is what they call it, is for her to say, oh man, guess you're not here. Shucks, I'm going to be leaving. And then he opens the door. Well, as he opens the door, man, he ended up, not only does he run fast, he heals even faster. And also, there's any sort of inkling that anything happened at all in this. There's no blood. Now,
he must have gone and taken a shower like you do, real quick.
You can really? They're so quick. It's as if I don't even take them. So you have him open, and it's sexy. It's sexy, Barry. He's got his, and I love the idea.
Sexy Barry, without a bullet wound hole or anything like that.
He's just been shot. He has vibrated into his chest to get the bullet out. He's healed completely, and that's why he's so we can see how well he healed.
Like,
I think
I'm
that if
even
that was
looking
me,
at this whole thing where he is healing, and I'm like, I know the Flash has a healing factor because of his fast metabolism, but the fact that he instantly heals and even looks like there's a light pouring out of the hole and stuff like that for how it's healing, I don't know who you are anymore, Barry Allen.
Yeah. And he's like, and I love it too. It's like, sorry, I was in the shower. Had to throw some clothes on. But what? I heard you say what? And like, oh, Barry. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're home. Here, come on in. And they start making out. And then, boy, things escalate quickly because then you get the next morning.
I don't even know that because it seems like we go to the next morning where they're still fully clothed, like they just laid in bed and watch Netflix.
Yeah, you put your things back on, and legitimately though, that ain't the shirt he went to bed in, Eric. He put on another shirt. That's no button up. That's just a t-shirt.
He got more clothes on.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the deal. She gets out of bed. She's not wearing her jeans anymore. She's got some sweatpants on. There's some change of clothes going on here. They just they're lovers, Eric, but they're still, they kind of feeling they're still vain. They don't want to be laying their nude. There's definitely a change of clothes.
Those could be red jeans as far as I'm concerned. She had blue jeans.
She didn't have red jeans on. She had blue jeans on.
Oh, I know she did. Yeah. She accidentally put her blue jeans in a pile of blood that he forgot to clean up. Like, what's this? Don't worry about that, baby. Come back to bed.
She's like, I think that you might be OJ here. But yeah, she has them scrunched up. Those look like sweatpants. They really do. Yes, and the funny thing to me is they are Barry's Flash sweatpants that he hasn't cleaned yet. He's been running around in those Flash sweatpants. But yeah, so he's there, and that's nice. That it's almost half the issue. I'm like, I like this. This is the stuff year one that I'd like to see. There's nothing of consequence here except for the fact that they're getting together. But in the whole New 52/Rebirth, this is kind of what I wanted all along, knocking boots, Iris and Barry. We've been waiting for it.
That's
now we have
it.
That's all I wanted. So I like that. Now we go off, and this is what I'm saying. This issue, it moves very fast, like a Flash book should. But we go, and some things are kind of forced. You have, hey, what's about
Turtle
this
time.
and your mom? There's the mention of his mom, of course. Things like this. He's thinking about his father being put in prison recently. Thinking about
this whole thing when they're going around and he's just on his way to Iron Heights to go question the turtle and stuff like that. I started thinking to myself, I didn't go back and look because I'm lazy, but did he ever talk to his father about getting hit by lightning, being in a coma, and then coming out of it after that?
Yeah, I did. I don't think I don't think he did. He's in prison. That's prison talk. But yeah, so he goes in. He's thinking about his father in prison and how he thinks that he's innocent. He's got to figure out, man, I should go talk to my dad about these powers. And I wonder if these powers can even help, solve this problem. We know that would be trouble again. But he goes to talk to the turtle, and it's like when he's talking to the turtle, and it's like such a forced deal. It's like, everyone is somebody. You had to have had a life before, right, turtle? Before? Well, I did.
Let me tell
once. You. He's like, I did once, and you get and it's okay.
It's okay, because even this whole thing where we have, I was born a long time ago in a station of life most would call unbecoming, and I'm like, you have you have some better clothes on as a small child than I've had in my entire life, and you have a full science set with a microscope.
He's got
what
fancy
are you coming from
clothes.
This unbecoming life? And I'll tell you, this full-out science kid he has, I would have loved that as a kid, but you know what? I was from an unbecoming of a childhood.
Well, and this is the thing. He's going, and he ended up, and at first he was a fast mover. He was going up the ladder quick. He got married, had a kid, settled down, a family and two
as far
kids,
as I'm
settled
concerned,
down.
He got married to Iris West for the way it's drawn here.
Now, the worst part of this is he doesn't really spell it out that much, but it is pretty terrifying. He went to work and ended up working with Beast Girl and a bunch of yucks. Look at these guys. He's working at a lab. It looks like this is a fancy lab. It looks like the one kid's 12 and the other kid's 15 and the other one's green. I don't know what lab they're working at. And they're like, they're running around.
Sounds like science
shit.
to me.
Look at these people who are supposed to be
I watched the
working in
movie
the
last
lab
night,
with them.
Attack of the 50-Foot Cheerleader last night, and their lab was a lot like this.
I'm telling you, there's two yuck kids who look like they're just grabbing things and pranking people.
Pretty much all that happens in that movie is that a spider gets hit with a serum, then becomes a giant spider, and a girl doses herself with a serum, which makes her clothes break off because she becomes too big for him.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these people in the lab. It really disturbed me when I'm reading. I'm like, I don't understand what's that. Who is working this lab? But yeah, they're jealous. I just think they look like they're, pranksters in the 20s. They like, hey there, buddy. They're grabbing stuff.
I don't think they're jealous. They're actually they're surpassing the turtle at this point because he's taking his time because now he's in love. He's on family time.
But yeah, he's still doing his experiments. He looks like it's one of those that I think it's like, since he's taking his time, he's working after hours. They're going off to do whatever they do. And he ends up having a very, very similar kind of deal with the Flash, but it doesn't work out quite so good, where he ends up working on an acceleration and it blows up. And he ends up becoming the turtle. He looks awful. And he's like, I slowed down to a crawl. You have his wife there. It's like, come on, you old man. And he just looks off.
It's such a weird idea. I studied a mysterious energy that I believed kept the universe moving forward, never looking back. And I was going to be upset about this whole thing because we have no definitive answers of what any of this is. Because I want to know what the still force, stage force, strength force, all this stuff is. And I thought to myself reading this whole thing, I'm like, whoever explained to me what the speed force was at this point? I'm like, the speed force Force constantly changes and shifts with each writer. I'm like, I can't tell you. I can tell you about the Speed Force anymore. So should I really be all that upset about this?
This is the issue, though.
It's magic.
He didn't create the Speed Force. He's trying to meld that into his story. He's created these others. So yes, he should give us more of a definitive answer for, say, the Sage Force or the Strength Force. But I just love the old Turtle where his wife is still, she seems pretty happy. The kids are there. Then they get real old.
Not me.
Because he's immortal.
Home. He's all hunched over and a monster looking.
Well, then he's immortal, and they're the same age as him.
He says he's immortal, and that's the weirdest part. I'm like, no, you have just stopped aging. You got really old really quick at this point, because like for a long time you were just an old hunched over monster man.
Yeah, then they were catching up. And then out of nowhere, he's like, you know what? I figured out what I had to do. Kill my family. And then he says, through my family's sacrifice, I learned I could drain the forces that push life forward. It helped me get back to normal, but it was fleeting. I studied the energies
what was
inside
that thing you were doing before?
I don't know. And he's like, looks like he's doing all these. He's on his own little force quest here. He's writing things on the chalkboard and things like that.
Still dressing like he did when he was 5 years old.
Yeah, really. This should be where, and really also still in that lab coat that was destroyed years ago in the experiment gone wrong. He hasn't bought a new one. Real lucky.
Times is tough when you're a turtle.
Real lucky. I wish that he would just come out of his shell, Eric. But yeah, so he's there, and I just want him, right there is a chance for him to explain a little, say, I found out that there was these other forces, the Sage Force that does this, the Strength Force, but we don't get that. But he needs money to fund things, like you said. Times are tough. He plotted
for a lifetime, like, gosh, how long did you go without doing this because you ran out of money? Because then you plotted for a lifetime just to be thrown down by the Flash, which you didn't account for.
The guy can't even afford a new lab coat, and he's trying to do all these experiments. It looks like he's doing experiments with his own blood, too. He's looking to see if he has hepatitis.
Blood experiments?
Then the Flash, we're good boy witches. You have the Flash show up and stop them, like he says. Yeah. I plotted all this time. It's a good setup of why he would be so angry.
Seems odd, though, that he says the Flash captured me months ago. I'm like, how much time has passed? I need to really look at these months that they're giving us in this book.
We had the Flash going around and doing his things and stuff, so I guess you're going to go with that. Plus, it took him at least 3 minutes to recuperate from that bullet wound. So he's talking to him.
We did take time to really, make sure that Iris and Barry were having a relationship that they never went all the way with.
They can't just knock boots, out of nowhere. That's not what Iris is all about.
Iris has been wanting to for so long.
It takes at least 3 dates for her. But yeah, so they're talking, and this is where it's weird, where you end up having the turtle tongue like, I feel a connection with you. And he touches that. Why isn't Barry immediately? Because he ends up letting him say a whole sentence with this. I'm like, Barry should be running. Also, you need no touching. You need somebody to say that.
I know, seriously.
He says, I know you're the Flash. I recognized your speed. I've been studying all this. I ain't gonna tell nobody
yet, though.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to tell anybody because I want to play around with this. And Barry's like, oh no. And he jumps away and he's like, I can't have this happen. He knows who I am. Oh my God, I'm shaking because you do have the turtle then pretty much saying slow wins the race. Steady wins the race. I do like this
moment a lot. Yeah. Exactly. The idea that he is playing the long game here, like he had plotted for years to get that whole, like he said, I plotted for lifetimes to get to that whole bank robbery bit. The idea that he is the long player, where even that little bit of energy he sucked off of Barry right there when he put his hand on his for the energy that moves life forward, I'm sure that'll lead to something. But for when the idea that we finally get back to the end where we have the turtle from the 35 years in the future, whatever it was, come out and say I am here finally. I told you I was going to win so many years ago. I'm like, all right, that was played out pretty well. I like that.
You get the idea. He's plotted this out. Just getting caught that one time for a bank robbery, and it doesn't ruin the plan. Like Flash thinks he's done. Oh man, you're done. No, he's just going to wait out his time, get out of jail, and get right back to it. But I love this where he's saying all this. Barry gets all upset, and then you have the turtle say, "My plan may take countless years, but now I know in the end I win." Barry's like, "Oh no, he knows who I am. I better get out of here. I don't want anybody to know my secret identity, so I'm going to use the Speed Force to run across the bay. Really fast. There's at least
I hope there's no surveillance outside of this prison.
Somebody's got to see him running across water. Next thing you know, it's like Barry Allen. Jesus Christ.
I've never seen them in the same place together.
No, really. We have this whole idea where he goes back and he's trying to find out anything about this connection. He's trying to find the turtle stuff. At one point, he ends up slam dunking. It looks like he's Gronk spiking a football. There's nothing here. He doesn't just put the files down. He spikes them and flings them all over the place. Iris shows up again.
I would too, because realizing when I come back to my lab and Iris is going to talk shit because I need to go and fix that window that was broken when the lightning came through. I'm like, no, that's the city's problem. This is the CCPD.
Yeah, really. Yeah, this is my personal
Why nobody fixed this yet?
Yeah, really. And even so, that's been a long time. He was in a coma, for Christ's sakes. They didn't fix it. She comes in like, oh, you look frazzled. Oh, sorry, I wasn't expecting you. I love this idea where she's like, oh, man, is this something you're working on with this old guy with the pictures? Whoa, baby. He covers it up.
Look at that panel, though, where she's like, did you forget we had... Look at the next panel, though. Did you forget we had dinner plans? What is wrong with her eyes? Did she have a stroke in between panels?
She might have. I love that he covers it up. Confidential. She's like, oh, did you forget we had dinner plans? He's like, listen here, lazy eye. I'm right over here.
I understand.
When did I start dating Forrest Whitaker? Holy moly.
Baby, you got real ugly since last night. What happened?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and she's like, I'm sure you have a stack of evidence to go over. I thought maybe we could grab some quick food at the food court. She's like, too many cases, Iris. And I love this idea that she just pops in. I don't know why he needs to cover up that he is, searching out some things. I know he's just CSI, so she might be like, why are you doing something? But it's still, this is a major criminal that was just taken in.
And we say that, but apparently that was months ago, Jim.
I know, but you obsessed. She's like, yeah, you can't stop crimes from happening, Barry. You can't control the future, the whole idea with that. And she goes, now, Snoopy Iris here, then she goes over and the next thing she picks up.
This about your mother's death? What do you know about my mother? Why'd you say that name?
It's a picture of his mother out of nowhere. He just has it there. And she's like...
It's so weird because I really thought that he had that picture on his, board right there. And then he just put a picture of the turtle over top of it. So it was like, did she get underneath that blanket that he put over?
That's why I'm laughing about this, because he's so upset about her seeing the turtle. And then she just walks over to the desk. Huh? What's this? And the first thing she picks up, it must be about this. And then, your mother. Like, he's like, what do you know about my mother? And I like the idea that he hasn't talked about his mother to her.
Yeah, why would
you? She has such a great memory. And, all the stuff about it is, I remember the police reports, those words, all that stuff.
I just tell you, this relationship took a left turn quick for that whole idea.
Did.
What are you going to do? Write an article about him? Like,
that's
Jesus
what I
love.
He's look at him, crossed arms. He's still, what do you know about my mother? She died a while ago. I know what's in the
Nobody
police
knows what
report.
they want to do here, because I'm telling you, the whole thing going back and forth, the idea of being together, not being together, because even when she's leaving, when she's upset, Barry, I've never said this out loud before, but I think we could have a future together. But then you see her leaving, but all of a sudden she's back in the room because I just realized I'm not done talking to you yet. I don't know why I was making my way to the door.
I still have
and that scares the hell out of me.
It's not door time for me. Yeah, because she's out the door. She's walking out the door. By the way, it's like when I argue with Tanya.
And by the way, fix that window.
We're in the room when we're arguing, and I'm like, and then I go downstairs. I'm in a huff, and then I'm like, I got like 3 more things. I go running up the stairs again. And by the way, it scares the hell out of me.
On Twitter or on our site when you write something, you realize, man, I could have added this to it. Time to have 3 more comments in a row like a psychopath.
Yeah. And by the way, fix that window. Yeah, so she comes back, and then there's an explosion. And really, I know Barry has a healing factor. Iris does not. She should be dead. She is in midair, just getting exploded. And
I'm saying something bad happened to her. Look at the look on her face, or what her face became after that explosion.
Yeah, really. She looks like a bulldog. She's like, what the hell was that? And I want Barry like, now you're going to tell me that I should fix the wall. Get off my case, woman.
Her nose makes up half her face now after that explosion.
Well, it got smushed a little, right? And then you see there's a bunch of lightning cracks.
I really do have to fix that window now, huh?
It's like, oh no. this looks like what we're going to have in the future, the Speed Force storm, but it isn't right now because this is
the
year
Still
one.
Force storm.
Yeah, that's what it is. And
but
I
somehow
do like
it's
this
tied
idea.
into the cosmic treadmill.
Yeah, what you have is an attack of the future, where the future of the turtle, where he's coming back in a pretty cool visual, which I wish was spelled out a little better than this, but it is pretty much Santa Claus and his sleigh, and the sleigh is the cosmic treadmill, and Rudolph is the older Barry Allen. Yeah, he's the one who's chained up and running. I think that's really cool.
What does he have here? Is it Still Force chains, or are they just Still Force energy chains?
Yeah, probably Sage.
All of a sudden, the turtle seems like a Green Lantern out of nowhere.
I see bubbles behind him. It might be Sage Force. I can never tell.
Because the thing is, everything's just going to be like manifested into some kind of physical energy at this point, too. It seems like we had with the bubbles for the Sage Force.
I love the Still Force chains. Really, those are great.
I'm telling you, I just think the turtle's a Green Lantern in the future.
He even has the turtle army with him, which is pretty cool as well. But yeah, overall, I didn't mind this. It's better than what we had been getting at one point from this book.
Year one overall, though, has been better in The Flash than what we've gotten for a while in this book. So I have been enjoying it, even though, and I'm actually really happy now that future bit is coming to a head here, because it makes that stuff we did earlier make sense. Like it wasn't just a one and done thing that didn't matter overall. So I do enjoy that aspect. With this, though, it's like, there's a lot of nothing going on in this. I can make fun of it and have good, just joke about it. But overall, I think I'd still give this a 6.5 out of 10.
I think I'd give it a 7. I like what's going on in this.